Hello, fellow potatoes. Back with me, Potato XY, here in Hyper Potato number 2. So we'll continue to discuss about Driven to Disorder. Okay, so the next one I'm gonna talk about is the Ancient World. Rejoice, Duel Jaeger's player, because you just got yourself a new awesome chief, the Seeker of Superior Strength Duel Jaeger. It's of course a size 3 with 10,000, critical of 2, defense 5. Call cost, put up to 2 cards from the drop zone into discard soul and pay 3 gauge. What's awesome about this card is first it has a double attack and soul guard of course, and its counter skill. Choose a size 3 Dragon Shift Emperor other than Seeker of Strength from the drop zone and you may discard a card from your hand. If you do, call the chosen card on top of this card without paying its call cost. Yes, you can attack twice with him and call dynamite on top of him and do another quadruple attack. So that's 12 damage if your opponent does nothing. And isn't that just really good? That's super great. Oh yeah, and another combo you can do with him too is you can activate his skill on your main phase. So when you call him, put up to 2 monster from your drop zone into discard soul, and then you can call overturn Duel Jaeger on top of him using his counter skill and overturn. So when you put overturn Jaeger on top of him, the overturn's critical will automatically be 5 because you already have 3 monster in its soul and overturn's critical is 2, so it's 5. And when you overturn, if you put 5 from the top of your deck, if you play a lot of monsters, you can get like 10 critical in the first turn. Or if you play, for example, like Healing Rain or I forgot the guy's name that can be put into soul from your hand. Yeah, whatever his name is, you can gain a critical of 11 or more, and that's just good. So those are two playstyle you can play using this awesome Jaeger here, which will be a secret in the English set too. Next up is this new set spell, which also is really good. The Lurch of Life. It's a set spell. When a card is put from your deck into drop zone, you can draw a card, and this ability only activates once per turn. Yes. And Duel Jaeger, since the Demon Lord's Rebirth, is playing a lot of mill cards, so yeah, this card is really good. Also as a counter act, put this card from your field into your drop zone. If you do, for this turn, nullify the lifelink of all size 3 monsters on your field, and you will only set 1 Leash of Life on your field. By using Seeker of Strength and this card, you can basically do a double dynamite call without taking the lifelink. So after you attack with Seeker of Strength Jaeger, you use its counter skill to call a dynamite freely, quadruple attack, and then you can call another dynamite on top of your dynamite. And when you want to take the lifelink, you can just sack this card and you won't take the lifelink and do another quadruple attack. And I think that's really awesome. Okay, going on to a card that can play well with the Lurch of Life, which is this card, Slap. Dragon Spirit Inject. Put the top 2 cards of your deck into your drop zone, which triggers the Lurch of Life. And if there's a Dragon Chief Emperor among them, put the top card of your deck into your gauge and draw a card. You may only cast this once per turn. I always love a charge and draw card, and this is one of them. And the art is also very funny over here. Yeah. And if you have the Leech of Life, you can draw another extra card and fill your drop zone. Quickly fill your drop zone to 15 and call dynamite directly. Okay, but that's not all. I think this card This hat is similar to a certain character's hat in season 4. Yes, it's the Pulse headgear. It's a new hat with power 4000, critical of 1, and as usual, this card can attack if there's a monster on your center. What's different is the ability is you can mill 2 cards, then if there's a Dragon Chief Emperor among them, you can charge 2. Yes, you need a lot of gauge to pull off that double dynamite combo, so you really need this card. And it's cool. What's better than using a white sailor hat? Is it a sailor hat? No, it's more like a chief bancho hat. And it also has a mini Hadoken image over here. It's really cute. No, it's really strong and manly looking. Okay, going on, we have this new Jaeger evolution, the unequaled immortal chief Duel Jaeger Gaia. I think it's Gaia Bust. Okay, call cost, put this card on top of a monster with Duel Jaeger in its card name on your field and pay 3 gauge. You have 15 or more Dragon Chief Emperor in your drop zone. This card gets critical +1 and penetrate. What's good about this card is because it doesn't have any condition to be called only when your drop zone is 15 or more. But if your drop zone is 15 or more, it gains an extra critical and penetrate. And that's good. Counter. Act during the battle of this card, you may pay 2 gauge. If you do for this battle, this card gets power +10,000 and defense +10,000. I don't think a lot of people will use this skill, but yeah, it's not a bad skill. It also has a triple attack, so when your drop zone is 15 or more, it has a triple attack with 3 criticals and penetrate. And I think sometimes you just might want to use this card instead of Dynamite for the penetrate. And Lifelink 4, which can be reduced by the strong cut Deluge of Life. And yeah, they also got the new Jaeger Impact, which looks really cool. Pay 1 gauge, choose 1 size 3 on your field, then choose 1 card from your drop zone and put it and discard into the soul of the chosen card. If this card is in the soul of a size 3 monster, that card and this card's ability cannot be nullified. Yes, so you can play this card under your Secret of Strength Jaeger. So when you are fighting like Star of Justice or Star or whatever, cards that nullify your monster's ability, you can sight in this card. And make sure your Jaeger is protected from ability nullifiers. Okay. Rejoice, Jaeger's player, because the support is really good. We'll move on to I think it's the second most looked forward deck in this set. It's finally a Magic World support, which is the Plague or Disease the First. The translation from the Japanese one is Disease, but it's changed into Plague in the English version. Okay, I'll talk about the key of this deck is you wanna pull off this ultimate great spell, World Pandemic. You may only cast this card if an item on the field has 8 or more plague spells in its soul. And the cast cost is 6 gauge. Flip your opponent's flag face down. When the flag is face down, cards written on that flag can be used and all cards on that field is put into the drop zone. Yes, you can say basically when you succeeded in pulling this card off, your opponent has lost. The only card that you can use is cards which are not written in the flag. For example, Omnilords. And who runs Omnilord nowadays? Only a certain few decks, like for example, Manjo Loop. Yep. I think most deck doesn't run any Omnilord. Okay, so how do you achieve the 6 gauge and the 8 or more plague spells in an item soul? Okay, first we'll see the item first. Scholarly Tome of Death Anatomica. equip cost is pay 1 life, and you can choose a plague spell in your drop zone and rest this card. If you do, put that card into discard soul and gain 1 life. So once per turn, you can add a plague spell from your drop zone into its soul. And then at the beginning of your turn, if this card has 3 or more cards in its soul, you can draw an extra card. So each turn you draw 2 cards. It also has a soul guard. So yeah, the idea of the deck is to fill this card soul with numerous spells, and we'll see the spell. The first one that can help increase its soul is this one, Great Spell Incubation Period. Choose a card on your field, look at 2 cards from the top of your deck, and put up to 2 plague spells from among them into the chosen card soul, and put the rest into the drop zone. You may only cast this once per turn. Yes. Since you will be playing a lot of plague spells in the deck, most of the time when you play this incubation period, the top 2 cards of your deck will be plague spells and the soul will be +2. So since the first turn, usually your Anatomica will already have 3 souls, and next turn you can draw 2 cards and a free 1 card. And then moving on to the next spell, this one, Great Spell Latent Infection. Okay, I really like how the spell's name of this card really shows off an infection going on, starting from the incubation period and then going into a latent infection and then the world pandemic. It's like it's just how an infection works, and it's it's funny. You may only cast this card if you have a plague on your field. Choose and use one of the following 2. You may only cast Great Spell Latent Infection once per turn. Each player gains 5 life. So yeah, as you can see, pulling off the world pandemic is not that easy. So you need a lot of life to protect yourself from your opponent's OTKs. And counter, for this turn, all souls in card on your field can be put into the drop zone by your opponent's card effect. So yeah, you might want to keep one of these in your hand in case your opponent plays Loki or whatever to destroy your Anatomica soul. Okay, going on to another spell. Oh yeah, before the world pandemic, usually there will be an outbreak. So put up to 1 plague monster or item from your drop zone into your hand. Then if there's a spell in the soul of a plague on your field, put the top card of your deck into your gauge and you gain 1 life. Outbreak once per turn. Can only be cast once per turn. Yes. 1 salvage, then charge and life. I think I don't need to say anything else about this card. It's just a really good salvage card. What do you want to salvage? I think the first card will be this one. Death Plague Caster Varicella, a name of a virus. It's really, yeah. I really like this deck though. Venom Bubble. When this card enters the field, look at the top 3 cards of your deck, put up to 1 plague item or spell from among them into your hand, and put the rest of the cards into your drop zone. Venom Bubble only activates once per turn. So he's a search. You can use him to search for Anatomicae, or just to find any spells you can use in the deck. Like for example, the latent infection or the incubation period. And I'll show you more of the awesome spell they have. The first one is this GS Learning. I think the English name is Godspeed Learning. You may only cast this card if there's a plague on your field. Put the top card of your deck into your gauge and draw a card. Then if you have 2 or more plague spells in the soul of an item, you gain 2 life. So another awesome card. Charge and draw and gain 2 life. How awesome is that? That's just really sick. And we also have this Mycotoxin. May only cast this card if there's a plague on your field. Counter, put charge 2 and gain 2 life. And then if this card is in the soul of a plague on your field, the ability of this card and that card cannot be nullified, and it cannot be put into the drop zone by your opponent's card effect. So yes, this is good to be put into your Anatomica's soul, so your opponent cannot remove it from its soul. And then another awesome card, they have is this one, Malignant Tumor. It has nothing to do with infection though. Choose a card on your field for this turn. The next time that card will be destroyed, it remains on the field. Okay, just like that. And for the attack nullifiers, they have this Contagion Gel. Contagion Gel is basically a gel you use to culture bacteria and stuff. You may only cast this card during an attack on your opponent's turn. Cast cost, pay 1 gauge, nullify the attack, and if you have one or more plague spells in your soul of an item, for this card on your opponent's field gets critical -1. All cards that reduce a critical on a field is really, really annoying. And this is one of them. Especially it reduces a card, right? Yeah, a card on your opponent's field get critical -1. That's really annoying. And then this is also a defense card they have, Narcolepsy. If there are 6 or more plague in the soul of your item, you may cast this card without paying the 3 gauge for its cast cost. Discard a card from your hand and pay 3 gauge. Rest all monster and items on your opponent's field. And put them to sleep forever and ever. Yeah, that card is really sick. Okay, I think that's all the spells worth mentioning. We'll move on to the monster. You guys have seen I've shown you Varicella before. Now we'll move on to Rubella. Eruptive Fever. When this card enters the field, put up to 1 plague spell from your drop zone into the soul of a card on your field. Yes, it can accelerate the soul in Anatomy K. And for this deck, they have 2 boss cards. The first one is Ebola. Zalu Ebola. A size 3 with 4 to 8. The 8 is what's really good about this card. Call cost, put a top card of your deck into this card's soul and pay 2 gauge. When you cast a spell, you can choose a card with defense on your opponent's field. And for this turn, that card gets defense -3000. If that card has 0 defense, destroy that card. Yes. This card is just really good. You can use him to reduce your opponent's defense and destroy it. And it also have a defense of 8000, so you can use him to protect yourself. If you have it, you can play World Pandemic as fast as that. And at the beginning of your turn, you put up to 1 plague spell from your drop zone into the soul of a card on your field. You can use him to accelerate Anatomy K2. And it has a double attack and soul guard. Okay, but moving on to the true boss card of the deck. Ancient Death Sorcery, Yersinia. Call cost, put up to 2 plague spells from your drop zone into this card's soul and pay 2 gauge. You can cast plague spells from this card's soul by paying its cast cost, and it's overkill. Pay 2 life during your main phase, put the top 6 cards of your deck into your gauge. Yes, charge 6 cards into your gauge so you can directly activate World Pandemic and ends your opponent's game. Yeah, I think this deck is really funny. It's really interactive. It's just a really good deck. A good and a fun deck to play with a new win mechanism. You guys should try it out. Now moving on to my favorite world of all time, the Hero World. Okay, too bad Hero World doesn't have a lot of support in this set, and most of them is for Satsuki. Okay, we'll see the Satsuki G first. I've talked about it before in the first episode of PotaTalk that this Satsuki G will be used more in Thunder Empire Frank, but I think she will also see place in the OG Satsuki deck because she's just really good. Let me just read the skill once again. When you station this card, put up to 2 cards from your drop zone into this card's soul. Over turn, discard a card from your hand during attack phase, and for this turn, notify all abilities of monster on your field. And during this attack phase, you can call Crew Trooper TE from your soul without paying its call cost. So yeah, you can flood your field with crew troopers and continuously attacking your enemy. And it also have penetrate, soul guard, and station. The what's what makes this card is not really good. What makes this card not really good in the Satsuki deck is because it doesn't have the ability to uh, suck in back the crew trooper and then launch them again like the OG Satsuki does. So you can pull the crew trooper's ability, and this card is just good for the overturn for OTK. Yeah, so I think people will only run 2 to 3 of this in the OG Satsuki deck. Next, we have the Duel Gundam. No, this is Queen Clada 2 Command Mech. Size 2, 413. When this card enters the field, for this turn, all cards on your field gets power plus 2000 and defense plus 2000. All cards, which also means your Satsuki will have a defense of 7000. It has counteract justice. During an attack on your opponent's turn, put this card from your field into the soul of an item equipped on your field. If you do, nullify that attack, and it can only be used once per turn, and it has double attack. Yes, that is awesome. And he's also a Thunder Empire, a crew trooper, and a brave machine. Okay, moving on to the next card. Sword Impulse Gundam. No, not a Gundam 2. This one is Queen Ladder 2 Broadsword Frame. A size 2 with 522. When this card enters the field other than from your hand, you may return a monster on your opponent's field to the hand, and it has move. Yes, just like that. It increased the toolboxy feeling of Satsuki. So if you need a bouncer, you can use him in your deck. Moving on, we have this is probably why people will play Satsuki again. This card is just really good. Counter, choose a battleship on your field and put up to 1 crew trooper from your field into the chosen card's soul. Then you may call a crew trooper monster from the chosen card's soul by paying its soul cost. Yes, this card is good. You can use this card to evade from attacks. Like, for example, if you have monster on your center and your opponent's attack, you can use this. Prepare for sortie. Take the monster back into soul and call something else to the field. So your opponent's attack will miss target. You can also use this card for offensive. You can suck in something back, call it again, trigger its effect, and you can do another attack with it. Yep. Yeah, you need to play 4 copy of this, I think, in the new Satsuki deck. Next on, we have this GNX. Nope, it's Assault Frame. And now you know why I really like Hero Worlds, because there are a lot of parodies. Otoko no Roman parody, like Kamen Rider, Superhero, Gundam, and stuff in it, and it's just really awesome for me, who's a superhero freak. And when this card enters the field other than from your hand, deal 1 damage to your opponent. I think this is also one of the best card to play in the Satsuki deck right now, because yes, it can help you OTK with the Satsuki G, because it deals 1 damage, 1 damage, 1 damage, and it's also a size 1 with a critical of 2. Even if you nullify its ability, it still packs a punch. Next, going on to the best shield Satsuki has right now. Expand Impact Canceller. May only cast this card during an attack on your opponent's turn, and if you are stationed at a card. This is the only drawback. You need to be stationed. Nullify the attack, then put up to 1 crew trooper from the drop zone into the soul of a battleship on your field. This is basically like Starjack docking without gauge. Yes, and it's good. Okay, we have 2 cards left. Let's just talk about it. The first one is Queen Clada Fixed Battery. It's a Hero World 3/1/1 with a skill of Counteract Deck Cannon. During the attack phase, you may call this card from the soul of your battleship, and Deck Cannon may only be used once per turn. And you see why this card is great is because of True Trooper, Brave Machine, and Thunder Empire. It has 3 attributes in one card, and I think you guys already know where this talk is heading. Yeah, this card is awesome in Manjo, and also this double O is also very good too because it has 3 attribute. So yeah, when you mail him with Manjo skill, you already have 3. And then this one, Impartial Warrior Justy Hope. This is a Guardian Executioner to for Tanuki deck. When your card is returned from your drop zone to deck, or when a card is sent from your deck into drop zone, destroy a card on your opponent's field with 3000 or less power. May only activate once per turn. The skill is really so, but it's a superhero, a guardians, and an executioners. So yes, he will be played in Manjo decks too. It's a size 1 with critical of 2. Not bad for something in Manjo deck. And when your card is returned from drop zone to deck, you can trigger his skill with the size 0 Professor Manjo skill. Yes, you can trigger his skill too. I think that will be fun. You guys should try it. Okay, next on we'll talk about the dungeon world. Okay, I've talked about the Kiro bet yesterday, the yellow bet. You can play him in the Demon Lord deck or Thunder Empire. He's just good. Okay, next is the Gold Paladin Thunder Transmission Knight Nils. Size 1 with 6/1/1. When this card links attack with another Knight or Thunder Empire, you can put up to 2 soul from a card in your opponent's field into the drop zone. Yes, you can use him to fight Anatomike, or Atora, or Jackknife, or any other stuff, Jaeger, whatever. This card is just really good to put into your Knight or Thunder Empire deck. Next, we have this cute little Knight Heavy Love Furia. It's a size 1 with 4/1/1. When this card enters the field, you gain life equal to the number of items you have equipped. If you play Knights, most of the time you'll have 2 items equipped, so that's heal 2. And when this card link attacks, stand a Knight on your field. Its ability only activates once per turn. He's a replacement for Tetsuya. He's basically a Tetsuya with better skills and better art. Look at this beauty. Okay, moving on. Deflection. This is a new nullifier. When you cast this card when you are attacked, nullify the attack and put cards from the top of your deck into your gauge equals the number of items you have equipped, which is charged to. Nullify attack and charge to. And that's awesome, right? Next, we have the double rare Twin Fang Knight Versalia. Adventurer and Knight, 6/5. Put a top card of your deck into this card's soul and pay 2 gauge. When this card link attacks with another Knight, stand this card and destroy a card on your opponent's field. This ability only activates once per turn. That's sick. If you have an item equipped, this card gets penetrate and move. It also have a soul guard. Yes. This guy is just strong. Put him into is it a him? Okay, I will just put this card into your Knight deck. This card is really good. Okay. What else do we have? Oh, the Darkness Dragon World. This is the SP version of Reverse Black Abigail Asil. I couldn't talk much about this card as I don't see any play with him, and I just can't see where the good of this card is. He may be good if the meta changes. If, for example, set spell is going meta again, and yeah. He's just a utility card. When this card enters the field, destroy a spell and you gain 1 life. When this card attacks, destroy an item and deal 1 damage to your opponent. When this card is destroyed, destroy a monster on your opponent's field and put the top card of your deck into your gauge. Yeah, it's still a good card, but not that good. And it's also a pay to gauge card. It's expensive for Abigail. And we have this handsome black arc dragon Gentle G. Look at those mustache. It's brilliant. It's gentle. Okay, enough talk. Here's a size 2 with 811, Black Dragon and Thunder Empire. Call cost, put the top card of your deck into this card's soul and pay 2 gauge. When this attacking card destroys your opponent's monster or deal damage to your opponent, put a card from your opponent's gauge into the drop zone. Then, if there are no cards in your opponent's gauge, deal 2 damage to your opponents. When this card attack is nullified, put the top card of your deck into your gauge, and it has a double attack and soul guard. Yes, no minus to this card. This card is just really good. An 8/1/1. A power of 8,000 can basically defeat almost everything in the game right now. And even if your opponent has nothing to be defeated, you can just attack him directly for 1 and do something to his gauge lah. Make him lose his gauge and deal another extra 2 damage. And it has double attack. He's awesome and gentle. Okay. This one, illegal counter, it's something you can play in the Death Count Requiem deck. You may only cast this card if you have a Black Dragon on your field. Choose and use one of the following 2. You may only cast it once per turn. Choose a card on your field and put the top card of your deck into your drop zone. If that card is a Black Dragon monster, you can put it into the soul of a chosen card, which is the Requiem. So you can combo this card with Abigail's Overturn and makes your opponent lose 2 turns earlier. And you can also use this card to gain 2 life. Yeah, this card is awesome to be put into the Requiem deck. Okay, moving on to the Danger World. Okay, what's really good about Danger World? Here is the first card that I will talk about is this Immense Pressure. You may only cast this if you have a card with critical 4 or more on your field and draw 2 cards. Can only be used once per turn. Yes, draw 2 cards when you have a critical 4. And as you can see here, we have 1, 2, 3, and the Old Earth Golem. 4 cards with 4 criticals. And you can imagine just how easy you can pull this card off. Next on, we'll talk about the boss card, Demonic Rock Dragon Mech Duel Golem. Yes, this is truly a Golem. I don't know why the old Golem is called Golem because it doesn't look like dragon at all. Okay. Call cost, put out 1 or more Duel Golem from your field into this card's soul and pay 2 gauge. So he has Soul Guard. All Duel Golem on your field gets Penetrate, and its overkill is pay 1 gauge during your main phase. For this turn, this card gets critical plus 4, and its attack can be nullified if it's attacking alone. Yes, an unnullifiable 8 criticals attack. It has move and Soul Guard, and it won't explode after it attacks. With a 10, 4, 6. This is just really great because it can directly kill your opponent with bam, 8 damages. One combo you can do with him is by using this card. Huge Corp Throwing Machine. Set spell. The ability of card on your field can be nullified by your opponent's card effect. And then during your turn, when your Duel Golem is destroyed, deal 1 damage to your opponent. This ability only activates once per turn. So yeah, imagine if you set 2 of this card on your field and then you destroy your Duel Golem, for example, using this card, another awesome card. Counter, destroy a Duel Golem monster or item on your field. If you do, put the top 3 cards of your deck into your gauge. Then if the critical of the destroyed card was 4 or more, you can gain 2 life. So yeah, imagine if you have 2 of these cards set on your field and then you cast the emergency fuel procurement, this one, to destroy 1 of your card, and sorry for going back and forth. The Huge Corpse Throwing Machine will deal 2 damage to your opponent. That's already 2 damage, and then you can finish them off with Duel Golems overkill and give 8 damage. Yes, 10 damage in the first turn. But if you can't pull that off, you can also play a lot with, for example, this Beat Golem, a critical of 4, a size 1 with critical of 4. And when this card attacks, you can put a card from your opponent's gauge into the drop zone. Messing with your opponent's gauge right now is really good. That's a really good tech in the deck right now. And this one is also good. Still big Duel Golem. At the end of the bell that this card attack, you may pay 1 gauge if you do not destroy this card. Typical explode Duel Golem. Still flocking. During your turn, if this card is in your drop zone and a Duel Golem monster on your field is destroyed, you may call this card from your drop zone. And you may only use this once per turn. So imagine you are playing, you're using Ultra Golems Overkill, and you already attack with Golem, your size 0, your size 1, and then your item. And when they explode, you call this card again and do another attack with critical of 5 when you overkill. And yeah, that's truly an overkill. I think, this one. This is also good. Debris Rubble Pump. If there's a Duel Golem on your field, you may equip it without equip cost, just like the usual items. When a Duel Golem monster on your field is destroyed, you gain 2 life. Only activate once per turn. Yeah. I think the old Knuckle is better, but this card has a critical of 4. And you can combo it with the Immense Pressure spell to draw 2 cards. So I think this card will see play like probably 1 to 2 copies in the deck. Okay, what else? Katana. I think I will not talk about the Oni Assassins so much. I will just talk about this one guy here. Hell Heaven Dragon, Hellran Heavens. Yeah, according to the flavor text, this is basically the true form of Dekatanuki. Is a size 2 Dragon Guardian Executioner with a power of 8/2/3. Call cost, put a top card of your deck into discard soul and pay 1 gauge and 1 life. When a Guardian's monster on your field attacks, return up to 1 monster on the field to its owner's hand and deal 1 damage to your opponent. When an Executioner's monster on your field attacks, destroy up to 1 monster on the field and you gain 1 life. Penetrate Soulguard. Okay, have you guys seen why this card is so awesome? It's because he has both attribute of Guardians and Executioners. So both skill will be triggered when this card attacks. You can deal 1, heal 1, destroy 1, and bounce 1. And it happens twice because this card have double attack when you combo it with the Old Rod. I don't know what's the name, the item from XBT03. Let's just call it Old Rod or Super Rod. Yes, and there's a lot of other size 1 and 0 that has both the Guardian and Executioner's attribute in it. And I think the Lion, the Danger Word Lion has double attack too. So it can triggers the Hell and Heaven skill again and again and again and again. And that's crazy. So crazy. Yes. We still haven't talked about Legend Word and Katana, but I think that's already long enough. We'll talk more about the Legend deck. I'll do a deck profile for the Levantine deck once this has been released. So stay tuned, buddies. That's all for Hyper PotaTalk number 2. I hope you guys enjoy it. If you have any suggestions or comments or anything that you want to tell us, just put it in the comment section below or to our message to our Facebook page. Yeah, it's really much appreciated. Thank you for all you guys that has support us until now. Hyper Potatoes signing out.